Someone made a comment that made me really think about something. He said that, um, pretty much that I've been through a lot with Jesus in this life, which is true. Um, and he was wondering if I could, if that's my purpose, is to teach people about Jesus from what I know about him in this life, um, of how he's been with me uh, through thick and thin, from the lowest hell you can think of to now. He's been with me, you know. So I feel like I know and understand him on a pretty intimate level. It feels like no matter what mistakes I make, I still know he's walking with me. He's still with me, you know. But um, but it made me think. And it kind of clicked in my mind. I'm like, maybe that's what God wants me to do, and that's why I was allowed to go through so many things, that I would understand Jesus on a whole different level than what people know, uh, what they could ever read about in the Bible. Basically, God knows I've been through the gamut, you know, with God, with Jesus. I've been through the gamut in this life. I have been. Um, so um, I do understand. I do feel like I understand him probably better than most. I don't understand him fully because I think that's not possible. But I do feel like I understand him pretty well. Uh, what the kind of person he is, the kind of, you know what I mean, like how he helps people, like, you know what I mean, like how he helps people in ways that people don't know about and that they don't understand. He's helping them, like that kind of thing. Like, I know how he helps people without them even knowing it. You know what I mean? He does for sure. Um, he's not the type that will take credit for anything he's doing ever. So he does all this. I know he helps people. Just that's what he does. You know what I'm saying? But because he because he loves people. He loves everybody. You know what I mean? That's why he does what he does for people. But I feel like I understand him on a deep, pretty deep extent, because we had to. Uh, he had to find me at a deep level, you know, to reach me. He had to. In order to reach me, he had to go really low. you know, like um, like when it says he descended below everybody, he had to get lower than me, basically. You know what I mean? And so I understand just how the depths he went. And I don't know for sure, but he probably knows this, that I probably went lower than anybody on earth. You know what I mean? So I understand how low he's gone because of that, you know, um, probably better than most. I know the extent of how low he's gone. Um, so, um, but yeah, when people are like, "Oh, I'm depressed. I all this and that, and I hate life," and that's nothing compared to how low Jesus has been. It's nothing. Like, Jesus has been so low that I can't even put into words how low he's been. I can't put into words. So low that no doctor could help him, no hospital could help him, no nothing could help him. That's how low Jesus has gone. That nothing on earth could put him back together, bring him back. He's gone as low as you can go without the body dying. That's what I'll say. He's gone as low as a soul can go, as dark as a soul can go, without the body dying. And that's a true statement. And that's one thing I know about him. And as I've been climbing up, trying to climb up, I've understood more of his ascension. You know what I mean? I guess that's what I could say. Like his ascension, like going up from his lowest point. He's climbing it with me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, I'm not sure if that makes sense. Like he's showing me the way that he climbed from the lowest of the low. Does that make sense? Like how he came back from the lowest of the low. He's walking me through it. He's guiding me back, basically, is what he's been doing. So I understand that to an extent pretty well of how he does that. And so I think there's a reason why I wasn't healed quickly for this reason. Like the blind man. Like I've been pretty much healed the long way, with Jesus. No matter what detours I've taken, Jesus has stuck with me. You know what I mean? No matter how confused I get on the path, Jesus still sticks with me. If that makes sense. Because he already knows the paths I'll try to take to try to heal myself, fix myself, whatever. He already knows that I'll try all that ahead of time. He already knows all that. So, but he allows me to do that. He allows me to walk different roads to try to discover things about myself. But anyways, that's just what I noticed. But there's a lot to him that I can't put into words. But I've been trying my best in my videos to try to put things into words, but I think I was allowed to go through when I think about it, I was allowed to go through all that I went through to understand all that Jesus went through, to an extent. Not fully what he went through, but to an extent, I was allowed to go through all that to understand him better. I can see that now. That was the point. That was the point of it all. For me to go through all that shit was to understand Jesus better on a whole different level than most people do. And I'm starting to see that now a little more clearly. But whatever I say about him, I want it to be correct. And so if it's not correct, I know he'll correct me. So. But anyways, but I think that's part of God's plan for me was the whole time was to understand Jesus on a whole different level than religion taught me about him, that the world teaches me about him, that even the Bible teaches me about him. Um, I, would- I, he wanted me to understand him on a whole nother level. So and I kind of wish, in a lot of ways, I kind of just wish I just had a normal life, But maybe this is good in a way. I don't see the benefit yet, of suffering all these things to know Jesus better. But I feel like not only do I know Jesus better, but I feel like I know the sufferings of what people go through better. You know what I mean? Like I notice that I can help people in any scenario, no matter how confusing, no matter how dark, no matter I can help them because I've been to the darkest of the dark. I've been the lowest of the low. I've been there, not as low as Jesus, but I've been low, so I understand that. So I feel like I can help people that that are in crazy scenarios, that lived crazy scenarios, of abuse, basically, uh, that they thought there was no way out. Basically, I can help them um, come back from that because that's what I'm doing for myself. I'm helping myself heal from all that shit I went through. And I feel like Jesus has been showing me the way to heal from it all slowly, and properly. But it's been kind of a hard road of patience for me because I don't really have the patience, like rather than walking a very long healing road, like I know that I've been on, rather than just struggling and trying to heal every day on this long healing road, wouldn't it be just simpler to have the quick end, you know, just quick end, instead of just the rest of your life just climbing and trying to heal? Wouldn't it be, that's what I think about. I'm like, but I shouldn't think that way. But I know I shouldn't think that way, but anyways, but on this climb, I think to myself, I'm like, Jesus made this climb that I'm trying to make. So it's possible. Jesus knows it's possible. This road I'm on, this climb I'm on. It may not seem possible to me, but he believes it's possible. You know what I mean? That's what I gotta remind myself. Like, it may be impossible for any human to walk this road or heal me, or it may be impossible for any human to do that. But for Jesus, it's possible. And that's what I'm trying to believe, is just like this impossible road, Jesus has walked it. This impossible road from the depths of hell, Jesus has walked it all the way to the light. He's made it the whole way to where he's at, from the depths of hell. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's what I gotta keep putting my trust in. Is like, he walked it. He's walked this road from hell. So you can be in the depths of hell and not be dead. I know this, better than most. So, so he knows the way to the light, basically the better life out of hell. So that's what I've been trusting. Is like he knows what he's doing, no matter what distractions take my attention away from the path. Just like he knows what he's doing overall when it comes to me, because he allowed everything for a reason. He allowed everything that I went through for a reason. There was a reason for it, and I didn't see it for a long time. I just thought it was cruel, just punishment. God hated me or something, for such a long time. But I'm starting to see like there is a reason for it all, of what I went through. So that I never saw before, because I really just wanted to live a normal life, peaceful, normal life. But instead, I walked a really hard road. You know what I'm saying? But in walking that hard road, I got to know God better, a lot better, on a whole different level. You know, like I didn't think God suffered that much to the extent that I did. I didn't know He did that. Because like in religion, they make you think in religion that God's above everybody else. He would never put Himself through all that dark shit, all that horrible stuff, because He's God. He's up above. Everybody praise Him on the sky. But no, he's gone below everybody. He's been through the worst of the worst. Jesus has been through the worst of the worst. You know what I mean? He really has. So, like I said, I'm kind of a pauper's witness to the extent, the insane extent of the lengths He went through of suffering to pull someone back from hell, from an impossible situation. He's gone to extreme lengths, But anyways, but if anything, if that's the one thing I've learned in this life, if that's just the one thing I've learned in this life, is how much suffering God went through. You know what I mean? If there's one thing I've learned, if nothing else, I've learned that. From me thinking there is no God, no one cares, God hates me, no one gives a damn, from going to that to, holy shit, God went through all of it. He really went through everything. Even me cursing God, even me hating God, He's been through that. He's been there. You know what I'm saying? As crazy as that sounds. He's been strangled. He's been abused. He's been through all that. Everything. I have no doubt about that. So any abuse that anyone's gone through, He's been through it. Any kind of abuse, He's been through it. And so I think that's why I was allowed to go through it as well, to understand the crazy extent that Jesus suffered. But anyways, but that's what I thought about. I'm like, am I supposed to teach people about Jesus? What I've learned about Him? I'm not sure. But I have learned a lot, for sure. When you go through a lot of suffering with God as well, you learn a lot. You learn a lot of things. You change your viewpoint of a lot of things. See the world differently, for sure. It kind of changes your heart towards a lot of things. That's what I'm noticing as well. I'm a little more empathetic. Like even if venom comes my way and I get cut down for anything I say on my videos, doesn't bother me. Just let it go, So, because I've actually been in the position of attacking people. Well, online, because I didn't think there was hope for me. I've been in that hopeless position where I'm just attacking people online, and God knows that. I'm just like, I went through all this shit, and God didn't care, and God can't help me, so I'm just gonna basically just troll, just spit out venom, and hate online, because if I can't be helped by God, I'm just gonna be mad to everybody, and God knows I was like that for a while. So, because I was mad about what I went through. I was mad about what God allowed me to go through. I was mad, so I was mad at the world, mad at the whole world. So I took it out on the world, through various ways, but and God knows that. So God knows everything. He knows everything about me. So he knows I'm not. He knows I'm not the perfect son, of his. He knows that. He knows I've been very hurt in life. He knows I've been very hurt, not just by people in society, but by him. I've felt hurt by God, so, but he knows that. But anyways, so it wasn't just people I was disappointed in. I was disappointed in God as well. So, but like I said, he already knows that. So he's already been through that. Like he knows what it's like to be disappointed in God. He knows what that's like. You know what I'm saying? That's why I know nothing I say hurts him. He knows what it's like. He knows what it's like. He's been through it all. He's been called every name in the book. He knows what that's like. He's been bullied. Like anybody else has been bullied. God's been bullied as well. He knows what that's like. So I'm being serious. He knows what it's like to be in any scenario, anything. The homeless losers, not losers, but the people, what people think are just losers, they don't have anything in life, God knows what it's like to be in that position with no hope, no home, nothing. He knows what it's like. So, and I know that. So anybody that says that God doesn't know what it's like in my position, it's not true. He knows exactly what it's like in your position. Exactly. And that's the one thing I've learned. He knows exactly what you're going through. Exactly. At this moment in time, he knows exactly what you're going through. No matter what it is. No matter what it is, he knows exactly what's going on. So, and that's one thing I didn't understand for a long time. I didn't understand that God knew what was going on, that he was watching, he was caring. The whole time I didn't realize that. But during that time, I just thought there was no God, but he was watching and helping me. I can see that now, even when I was atheist. So that's what's crazy. Even the atheists don't know that God's caring about them. You know what I'm saying? They're saying, oh, there's no God, there's no proof, it doesn't match up to science. Doesn't matter. God is still looking out for them. You know what I mean? That's what's crazy. Even the atheists are watched over by God. The people that say there is no God are watched over by God and don't even know it. So, anyways, that's just kind of a funny thing I wanted to add in there. But anyways, it's crazy how closely God watches your life. When he says a hair on your head, he knows the hairs on your head. It's legit. That's how closely he knows you. He knows me better than I know me. He knows me better than I know me. That's how he can help me discover who I am, because he knows me better. He knows who I really am. So, and he knows what I can become. You know. So, but anyways, but I'm not sure if that's what I'm really here to do. But I did think about it. Out of anything I've learned on this planet, no matter what I've done on this planet for work or whatever I've done on this planet, ultimately, I feel like I got to know Jesus on a whole different level, you know, because of all the things I experienced and went through. I got to understand him on a whole another level that I never would have before. But I think something my family of origin told me is like, they told me that the things I went through would help me understand Jesus as well. I remember that, like, because they knew I wasn't like them. I saw things differently. I saw the world differently because of all I've gone through, and they haven't gone through any of that. So they knew that I kind of understood, not fully how Jesus is, but kind of, to an extent, you know. I know how he kind of does things. I know how he thinks, kind of, you know. But I know he thinks differently than anybody else I've come across. He thinks way differently. He's on a whole other level of thinking, which makes sense. You know, he's God. He would be on a whole nother level of thinking, intelligence than anybody else. So that's why he knows what's best for me more than I know what's best for me already, because he's more intelligent. He knows me better, you know. So that's why I trust that, you know, that he knows what he's doing and developing me and helping me grow, basically. But anyways, but yeah, I mean, I asked the other day, yesterday, I'm like, am I really helping you, God? Am I really helping you? And I'm not even realizing it. Like I still don't realize it. It hasn't really fully hit me. Like I'm helping God already on accident, just by making videos that I want to make. Basically, just making videos that I want to make. You know, what I want to talk about. I'm helping God somehow. I'm like, holy shit, you know, because I never believed that I could help God really. The man in the sky, above everybody else, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Me help that guy that doesn't need any help, it seems like, that wouldn't need any help. I'm helping him somehow. Somehow I am. I'm not sure. Just by being myself, making videos I want to make. So, but he knows I don't see I don't see Jesus the way everybody else does, but that's just because I know how much hell he's gone through. You know what I mean? So, and he knows that I know how much hell he's gone through. A lot of it. So he taught me about what love is on a whole nother level so far. A whole nother level beyond any human could ever teach me about love. Jesus has shown me what real love actually is. You know what I mean? Like, this far when no one else would help me this far. That's love, you know. No one else would help me this far, you know, in life. No one would actually help me like this, you know, this far. And I almost feel bad. I'm like, you know, I don't really deserve to be helped like this, you know, but he thinks differently, you know, thinks I deserve it, and I should want to think that I deserve it, and that I actually do matter, you know. But anyways, that was just something I was thinking about. I'm like, could I teach who Jesus is on a whole different level than ever's been taught on this planet? I think so. Like, hell yeah, I can. but I don't know if that's truly what I'm supposed to be doing, but so, like I said, my purpose is kind of unknown. Like, what would God want with someone like me to help him with? I'm not a savior. I'm not a prophet. I'm just basically a soldier, warrior, you know, pretty much. You know, why would he need someone like me right now during this time? I'm not sure. Because I can't save anybody. I don't have the ability to save anybody out there. Can't save them. I know that. But I know someone that can save them. You know, I know that much. He can, no matter how low you are, no matter how deep your hell is, no matter how depressed you are, Jesus can help you. For sure. He can help you climb out of there. Even if it's slow and a long ass journey like mine is, he can help you climb out of there. But that's what I know. And he's willing to do that. He cares that much, you know, that he's willing to go that low for you, to bring you out of the lowest depression ever. He can get you out of it. He can climb you out of there. If anybody can, he can. But anyways, that's mainly the thing I thought about. I'm like, when someone's saying that I could teach about Jesus in a way, I think I could. But just about him though. Not about any religion. Not about anything like that. Take all those buildings to the side. Take all those rituals to the side. Take all that crap to the side and just teach about Jesus. That's it. You know, I think I can do that for him, probably. Just teach about him. That's it. Because everything else messes it up. In my opinion, religion messes up Jesus completely. They don't teach him properly. In my opinion, like they don't know about the real love and sacrifice he did. Truly, they don't really know the extent of it, of how deep it all goes, how expansive it all goes. That what he did all those years ago, how much it covers everything, from the lowest of the low to the highest of the high, all the way, he experienced it all the way, and that's what I've been learning is like he's been from the lowest you could go to the highest you could go, all the way. He's gone the whole way, that's what I've been learning, and that's what he's been walking me towards, is more towards the light, basically. I feel like he keeps on walking me higher, to a better state, basically, I guess you could say. But anyways, that's just something I thought about. I'm like, I could probably teach about just Jesus. I could, and he knows I could. I could teach about him. I never thought I'd be a teacher, ever, because it's not my thing to be a teacher, in my opinion. Like in front of people, standing up in front of people trying to teach. I can talk to a camera, but though a lot better. So I guess I can teach through a camera, about Jesus, But anyways, but I know a lot of people be like, you don't know Jesus. But partly that is true. I don't fully know him. But I know him from what he's allowed me to know about him through this life. I know that much of what he's allowed me to learn about him. Especially the suffering. That's one thing I have to really emphasize: the suffering. I know his suffering. That's why I call it insane. The suffering that he went through is insane. Absolutely insane. No human would do it. Not one human would do what he's done, as far as suffer for everybody. I know that much. So that much I can say about him. If nothing else, I know that much. It's just the lengths he will go to love somebody. I mean, for someone else. The lengths he will go to help somebody. That's what I want to say. Goes to great lengths to help someone like me that didn't believe in God, didn't care about God, thought God didn't exist. He'd go to great lengths to help someone like that. Even still, that doesn't believe in him at all. Stopped believing in him a long time ago. So basically, like after I got strangled, I stopped believing in him. I'm being honest. That's when I stopped believing in God or Jesus. After I got strangled. But anyways, my belief is coming back because they've shown me that they saw it all, and they cared the whole time, basically. And so I'm like, goddamn. But anyways, but I don't want to teach anybody anything that's incorrect. I want it to be correct from what I've learned. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to misrepresent, I guess you could say. So, and I know I'll be corrected if I misrepresent. I know that. So if I start just talking about what I want to talk about, and, just nonsense stuff, basically. But anyways, but despite my paths down different roads that weren't of God, despite all that, I do feel I understand Jesus. Despite anything I've tried in this life, I understand him, because I feel like he's also gone down these dark roads, these confusing roads, I know he's gone down it as well. Every single dark road from Satan. Jesus has walked it. He's been down every dark road that Satan has put in front of me. He's been down that road. So that's why I have confidence in that, because when people say, "Oh, you're going down a slippery slope, a dark road," so did Jesus. Jesus went down the dark roads. He did. That's how he knows how to help people out of the dark road, because he's been down the darkest roads. So he's been down those roads. If you're too far down in satanic stuff, for example, or whatever, Jesus knows how that goes. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to get somebody out of there. Basically, but that's why I say, like, no matter what anybody says about anything I do in life or anything about me, Jesus went through it too. He went through it. So I truly believe he's been through everything I've been through. Everything. Even people making fun of me is like people making fun of him. I'm being serious. He's been through it already, so, and I know that pretty well. So, and that's why I got to keep reminding myself, I'm like, Jesus knows what this feels like. He's been through this, so, because he has. So, but I do know he's the only one that can help me, or in this life from here. I know that, but I think it was intentional, that he would be the only one that could help me. That was intentional. I'm pretty confident that's the way this was set up. That I would have to depend on him totally from here on out. For this life, I would have to rely on him. Like a lost boy, trying to rely on a father that he's trying to reconnect with. Basically, it's what it feels like. I'm like, nobody else wanted me, but I guess you still want me. That's how this has been. It's like, no one else wanted me. No one cared. Even me. But you still care. You still care about me. So I'm turning to you, basically. Because I think you still care. But I don't know. So whenever I think nobody cares, I'm like, God still cares. No matter what anybody says or does. Because I've seen the insane lengths. I'm saying it point blank, God has gone through insane lengths for me. For someone that doesn't even care about this life, doesn't even care about being here. God has gone through insane lengths for someone like that. You know what I'm saying? Insane lengths. To the point I'm like, why is he doing all this for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so bizarre. Nobody cares this much. Nobody does. And I'm like, nobody should care this much about anybody. As much as God cares about me, no one should care this much about anybody, So that's how I feel. Just like, and that's what I was saying the other day. Like, when I think I'm going to be just dropped off and discarded by God, it doesn't happen. The road keeps going. You know what I mean? The path keeps going. So I'm just like, gotta keep going, you know. But anyways, if nothing else, I've learned in this life is I understand Jesus to an extent of the insane lengths he'll go for one of his sheep, basically one of his children. The insane lengths he'll go for just one of them. That pretty much is dead and wants to just give up. Jesus will go through insane lengths to try to save that sheep, bring him back to life. You know, basically, bring him back. Insane lengths, I've learned. I'm like, I don't care anymore, you know, but he still cares. I'm like, fuck. So it still helps me, you know. But anyways, what time is it? That's all I really wanted to say. Is just like, it really made me think, could I teach about Jesus on a whole different level, a whole different way than ever's been taught ever on this planet? Most likely, yes, I can. Based on what I've been through with him, what I've seen him do, you know, I could probably teach about him in more depth than is even written, basically. Probably, you know. But I feel like he's given me this knowledge about him. He's given it to me. Like, he's helped me. He allows me to learn about him. So he's pretty much given it to me. But I don't know if that's what I'm really supposed to be doing, if I'm honest. But I do know one thing. I was allowed to go through a lot to learn about him. I think that's what it was for, to learn about him specifically. I was allowed to go through a lot to just learn about Jesus specifically on many levels. learn about him. That he can do way more than people think. He can do way more than the Bible really portrays. He can do a lot more, you know, and I do know that he can do a lot more. So, but anyways, I think that's good enough for this video, but that's just something I was thinking about it, because I feel like I do understand him on a certain level, a certain way. That's what I'll say. A certain way that was allowed for me to learn about him for a reason. Like, I was allowed to learn about him a certain way on purpose, that I don't think anybody's learned about him on this certain way that I learned about him, basically. It's true, you know. But I always say, I'm like, he's one crazy bastard to try this hard for me. He's one crazy bastard, and I know that's disrespectful, but I would never help me like this, never. I hated God most of my life. I cursed God most of my life, you know. But now God's the only one helping me. God's the only one I have. Literally. That's a crazy statement. I only have God now. After all said and done, God's all I have. When all the dust settled, I only had God. So, anyways, I gotta remember that. So, but anyways, I gotta get going and get my day going a little more. But That's all I really wanted to say. It was like, it made me think, like, I could teach about Jesus to anybody, anywhere on this planet, to anybody. I really could. I could teach about him to anybody I come across, no matter where it is, no matter what building I'm in. I can teach about Jesus. I'm like, on a whole different level, you know. And I think Jesus knows that. That's why I'm alive. That's exactly why I'm alive. It's Jesus knows that. That I can teach about him on a whole different level than you'll ever find in church. You'll ever find in the Bible. You ever find in any book. I can teach him about him on a level that you can't find anywhere. Because of all the shit I went through with him in life. All of it. You know. But anyways, that's all I want to say. But yeah, that's all I want to say. I guess for this video, I think that's good enough. But it did make me think. I'm like, there's one thing I could teach about, if on anything of this planet, I could teach about him. Out of anything, more than anything, I could teach about him. I can't teach any subject in school, but I can teach about him. I know that to an extent, I can, for sure. But I think he knows that, and doesn't really want me to just keep to myself and not like tell people what I know about him. You know, I think he just, I guess that's how I feel. He doesn't want me to just keep it all to myself. Everything I've learned about him and know about him, he doesn't want it just to keep to myself. Even though I want to just keep it to myself. You know, like my little secret. Like I know him pretty well. Despite anything I've gone through or done, you know, I feel like I know him pretty well. To an extent. Like I said, to an extent. Not fully, but to an extent, I do. For sure. But I think he knows that. So that's why I'm still here. Basically on the planet. Is for Jesus. That's it. That's the only reason I'm here. That's a true statement. I'm just here to serve Jesus, to do what he requires of me, because I was allowed to. I was allowed to understand him on a whole different level. I was allowed to. It was God's purpose for me to understand him on a whole different level. You know, that people can't even fathom, basically. So when people say he wouldn't suffer that much for anybody, like he wouldn't go through the lowest of the low for everybody. He did. He did. It's crazy. It's crazy. So when you think like no one understands what I'm going through, Jesus understands what you're going through. He understands what I'm going through right now. Right now, he knows what I'm going through. With all my stresses and shit. Every day, you know. So, and how I've struggled. You know. But anyway, that's all I really want to say, I guess. It's just like, I do understand him to an extent. For sure. So, but it was God's intention. It was God's will for me to understand him on a very close level. Like I said, even if I'm distracted and doing whatever, like he still stays close, you know. But anyways, that's all I really want to say, I guess, for this video. Yeah, it's